So, here we are out on the trail where I spend a lot of time. I'm on our 4-year-old Mike. You can see his head and ears from time to time as we go along this trail. This is typical of the area where we ride. It challenges horses a bit. It gets some mileage on them. It gives them the opportunity to be horses and do something besides just be drilled in an arena. I think trail riding is underutilized and undervalued as a training tool. We didn't get all the footage we had hoped, but as often happens, as we rode along, a few stories occurred to me. So here's a little bit of a trail ride and a story to go along with it. Stick around, and I hope you enjoy it.
So we are now at one of the several roads that does still feed into the park. We're coming down one. The one I showed you to the left is also an open road. And they come together and cross this bridge here. This is the last bridge we'll cross with him. I think he was across this bridge one time before. It is an easy, excellent bridge. The way it was built is really, really good. They have the boards laid on end instead of flat, so the traction is exceptionally good for a wood deck bridge. And I'll sort of shine down on it or focus down on it. If you look, you can see there's a lot of points of purchase there. It makes a very nice bridge for horses. So we're now at the intersection and about to head up what used to be Cherry Street Extended. Now we're going to head up here, and I'm going to tell you that this road, which is pretty rocky, pretty narrow, and drops off like crazy, probably 300 vertical feet near the top, down to this road here, used to be a public vehicular access road. However, the only thing this was really used for was for access for drinking and fornication. And the township got worried about people returning from these drunken revels and going over the high side down to the road, because this is low here, it gets higher. So they worked with the park, and this was the first of the roads they closed and turned into a trail, which set a pattern. So I wouldn't want to drive it anymore. It wasn't fun to drive when it was open. I don't know where the drinkers and fornicators are going. I pity them for their loss of habitat, but I'm sure that they have come up with something. So we're going to go up this rocky old trail, and that'll take us to a high point that we tend to call Top of the World because it's one of the highest points in the park. So we're now nearing the top of what we call Top of the World. And as I said before, when this was a public road, it was frequented mainly by people who were interested in drinking and fornicating. Part of that conclusion was supported by the fact that on a day after a snow, I managed to ride a horse down here, and I was climbing this hill, and it was deep snow, but I could see tire tracks up ahead. Well, about here at the top, where the wind just scours across these hills, I found a car. It was deeply embedded in the snow. It was abandoned. The doors were open. Outside the car, I found a pair of dress shoes, a half-empty bottle of Jack Daniels, and a brassiere. I wish that Paul Harvey was still around to tell us the rest of the story.